Welcome all to another episode of Sneaks, Runs, and Life. I am your host, Lionel McDonald. So we are in September. You know what that means. It's already started. Started on Thursday. We're already done week one. People are on the waiver wire for week two. The NFL season has started. So a couple things I'd like to, kind of talk through is some of the unbelievable cleats. And I think from my high school days to even playing rec football and now to what we see on the NFL stage, it's pretty amazing what we're seeing now from cleated footwear and what players are wearing as exclusive. So I had a gander, did a little research, and had a look, and I just want to highlight some of the things. So I think first of all, like we saw in basketball in the 90s, we really have seen the Jordan brand be one of the forefoot brands when it comes to making exclusive and customized sneakers for their athletes. So let me just highlight some of the ones that we saw, either preseason or in week one. So really amazing pair. The latest acquisitions was Dak Prescott from the Cowboys. Not a Cowboys fan, as you all know, wearing my Washington gear. We didn't win week one, but that will be addressed a little later in this podcast. But he recently signed. He was wearing a Japan one Jordan on week one against the Bucks. Looked pretty dope. Now that there is a few other models that are out there, some are wearing 11s. There were a lot of D linemen, like Cam Jordan and Hightower wearing the 11 or the Jordan 10. We definitely got some of the receivers out there wearing Jordan 1s, like Devontae Adams. Actually, he was wearing a Jordan 5. Sterling Shepard also wearing I believe he was wearing a Jordan 5 or the Jordan 1. Stephon Diggs. You got Chase Claypool. We call him Mapletron. He's from Canada. So there's quite a representation. You got so many other elite athletes all wearing the Jordan brand. Melvin Ingram's been wearing it for many years now. So that would kind of be a breakdown of Jordan brand. Kind of first and foremost, predominantly, I would say almost 2/3 of the league are wearing Nike. So one of the big shoes, if I just look down here on my list, is the Vapor Edge 360. So a lot of different players wear it. DJ Moore was wearing it. A Max version that Kyler Murray was wearing. So Nike definitely getting a lot of run. I know OBJ and some of the other guys. OBJ didn't play. He's playing Supreme, Vapor Jets, and some of the other items. But he's still a little banged up right now and not playing. We move over to Adidas. Adidas has done some cool things. Although one of my favorite players in the league, DeAndre Hopkins, his contract's up, so he's kind of a free agent, kind of wearing whatever he wants. I think he's kind of into Nike right now. But a couple of the players, I think we had Henry Ruggs wearing the Addy Zero. We had a really cool pair worn by I think it was the Addy Zero 11 worn by Keenan Allen from the LA Chargers. We also saw Hollywood Brown in the same shoe. And then actually really saw two amazing ones. The Adidas Freak 21 worn by Derwin James, also from the Chargers. And then one of their biggest athletes, which is Jalen Ramsey. He debuted the Laces Freak Ultra, which is literally a laceless football sneaker. Really never seen anything like it before on feet. So pretty amazing to see. Oh, did miss one of the Jordan brand guys. Devin White, he was also wearing the Jordan 5 from the championship Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So pretty cool to see. And then I think if you look at now, Under Armour is probably the third brand, but a lot of guys do wear it. Most notably, DK Metcalf was wearing the Spotlight MC, and then there's a player edition, or as they call it, PE, that Tom Brady traditionally wears, as he's been one of the longest serving Under Armour athletes. Although Cam Newton's not signed, he would be another one, and of a lot of notoriety, particularly over the last 5 years. And then obviously Julio Jones as well. Now with the Tennessee Titans would be another one that has been wearing a lot of Under Armour and some pretty cool silhouettes over the years. But so when I really looked up, what are some of the most special ones that guys wore last week, and couple really, really jumped off the page. So Marquis Goodwin, he was wearing an player edition up tempo cleat that they made for him. He wore it on Sunday Night Football. It was bright orange because he plays for the Chicago Bears. Totally amazing. One of the best cleats I've seen in recent memory. Kind of rivals right there with the one that OBJ has been wearing over the last 2 years, almost a supreme version. Though it's not NFL, have to know Adidas made an amazing reiteration of their Ultra Boost that they had the entire Arizona State team wear. So that was pretty cool. We definitely had Troy Hill from the Browns. Not a well-known player, but he had an Addy Zero Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. He couldn't wear it during the game. He only wore it during pre-game warm-ups, which was pretty awesome. I did mention Jalen Ramsey and his laceless shoe. And then one of the guys has just come out of nowhere. Again, he was only a rookie last year. DJ Chark is getting Nike to make these crazy shoes. So at one point, he had a gold 97 cleat. He had an off-white Presto cleat that I just found online. So some pretty amazing things we had there. And then we had Siobhan LeBlanc had a KD7 Aunt Pearl made up for him. So the cleat game is like totally out of control. But I'll tip my hat again. I got my hat backwards on, so I don't want to take it off because I'm going to lose my headphones. But probably the one that truly stuck out with a lot of people is Stefon Diggs, all pro receiver from the Buffalo Bills. We all know that the beloved Michael K. Williams passed away last week. And apparently, we won't get into the details, but he did pass away. Stefon Diggs did a tribute to him and had a custom pair of Jordan cleats done with his character from The Wire, Omar. And Omar is arguably one of the most recognizable characters from the legendary show The Wire. It's right there with Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and a few others. So, but he suddenly passed away this week, and the tribute cleat that he had on was absolutely incredible. So, a few of these highlights I definitely will share on my Instagram as I set this one off for the closing of week one, and just from a sneaker perspective, you really see how these athletes are heavily influenced by sneakers that are worn on the street or on court, and they're now bringing it to the field. It's quite refreshing. I know I've worn a variety of different cleats. I've worn Jordan 7 cleats, Jordan 1 cleats, Jordan 4 cleats, Jordan 6 cleats, Jordan 3 cleats. So I've worn a bunch of the Jets, a couple Under Armour ones over the years of me playing. But yeah, it's sneakers is full blown. I saw even Ramsey had a custom pair of I think it was Yeezy 500s, which were pretty amazing to see. So cleat game is here and here to stay, and keep it coming. It always gives us something to look at, and for those that love sneakers can be turned into whatever you want, and if it's worn on feet, that's something popping. So let's talk about, just really quickly, week one. So look at the results we have, and we may go through every game. We'll see how this goes. So some of the surprises from week one, hey, Cowboys really can move the ball. Defense is like Swiss cheese. Couldn't hold up against the Bucks. The game was there in the balance. The Cowboys are right there, so they're going to be pretty good this year. Bucks are just looking like they very well marched right back to the Super Bowl. Um, Seattle looked good in the beginning in their opener against the Colts. Colts looked like they might struggle a little bit. Defense didn't look like what it would look like, or should it look like, and Carson Wentz didn't look great. Uh, Probably one of the biggest surprises was the Houston Texans. Now, we don't think much of the Jaguars, and that's who they beat. They beat by 16 points in a very high scoring game at home. But it was nice to see that Tyrod Taylor could put up some points. And hey, looks like our good friend Mark Ingram that was on the Ravens is not quite done. So interesting to see. Really strong performance from the Eagles. The Falcons looked terrible. The Eagles dominated them on both sides of the ball, way more physical, and put that one away early. So Eagles in the plus column, to start the year. No surprise because they're really good in openers. Probably a surprise because I think everyone thinks that the Bills are a Super Bowl contender and probably still are. But they played a very good Pittsburgh team, and with some late game dramatics, Steelers were able to come back late in the game and pull that one out in Buffalo. So then we'll talk about the Washington football team, who still doesn't have a nickname, but all I'll say is we looked at both teams. Washington had the game in the balance. Looked like they had a chance to win. Turned the ball over deep in our end. Gave up the go-ahead touchdown, and that was that. But I must say, Justin Herbert looks absolutely fantastic. Keenan Allen did Keenan Allen things. Defense looked solid. Washington quite didn't get the pressure they should have gotten during the game, and they're going to have to make some adjustments, or some guys are going to have to step up. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long season in the U.S. nation's capital. Not really surprised, Panthers and Jets, close game. Panthers come out on top at home. Christian McCaffrey looks incredible. Sam Darnold stuck it to his old team, so that was kind of fun to see. Cardinals look fantastic. Chandler Jones was an absolute monster with 5 sacks, and Kyler Murray was doing Kyler Murray things, and my boy DeAndre Hopkins was doing DeAndre Hopkins things, and that was a blowout. Titans, with all their weapons, bringing in Julio Jones, having Tannehill back from COVID, and maybe he's just not right yet. Brown gave it a go, and obviously have King Henry. They did not look good, could not get out of their own way in that game, and got blown out at home. Browns look really good. Browns got in their own way late in the game. If they just stuck to running the ball, they probably would have beat the Chiefs, but we just continue to see how special, Patrick Mahomes is, and, with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, we just know that they're a special offense, and their defense can do just enough to get people off the field. Not a super entertaining game, but hey, to see the Patriots lose at home, which rarely happens early in the season. Dolphins look pretty solid. They look good on both sides of the ball. They have a real nice underrated defense. So that was a win for the Dolphins. And Mac Jones wasn't incredible, but I think he's going to get better as the season goes on. Though they have talent, they just didn't look real good. And the Giants, faltered big time, the Sunday after 9/11, and definitely the Broncos look way better than I thought they would be. Probably the shocker of the week, though, was that the Saints, playing in Jacksonville because of the recent hurricanes and tropical storms, couldn't play in the Superdome, but played a home game against the Packers. Packers, I don't know what was wrong. Aaron Rodgers didn't look like himself. They didn't go to Hopkins nearly enough, and they absolutely got destroyed. It was 38-3. Packers didn't look like themselves. It looks like there's already internal fighting. I know that it was a very rough off season for Aaron Rodgers. Him and Devontae Adams going to run it back one more time, but that's not a great start to them running it back. Then we get to the Sunday nighter. Pretty competitive game overall. Really can see the difference of Matt Stafford being on this team, being the LA Rams, and how we can create the deep plays down the field. Montgomery looked good for the Bears, didn't get him the ball enough, and probably that was the difference. So Bears win. Bears lose by almost 3 touchdowns, but it was a pretty competitive game throughout, and probably by far the most entertaining game the entire week one was the Monday night game. Went to overtime. The Raiders in their new stadium in Vegas against the Ravens, who are all banged up, but we know that Harbaugh gets them ready. Raiders won in overtime. We saw an unbelievable. Darren Waller got targeted 19 times and made some plays. We saw, later in the game, Derek Carr really start to spread the ball out. One critical fumble by one of the more recent MVPs in Lamar Jackson, and Raiders win in overtime. Thoroughly entertaining game. If you didn't stay up to midnight Eastern time to watch that game, you definitely missed out. So that's what the week looked like. So my team, Washington, little disappointing week week one, got to win week two, got a Thursday night short week against the Giants. Giants always play us tough, so I'll be perfectly honest, I'm a little worried, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks again for listening. Love talking about sneakers and cleats, and as you can see, cleats are part of the game for me. And we'll probably check in every once in a while on the NFL and see how things are going. I hope to get Amanda Ruler back. Jason Gloins, who's been on before, we kind of did our NFL draft review, hopefully to get him on again during the season, along with a couple other guests to kind of just talk about things. So that's part of the life segment of Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.